So what we have here is a visual guide to creating a email nurture sequence. So in this case, you're going to start with a free download, and that free download is going to be some form of lead magnet. And from there, we're going to deliver the lead magnet, and we're going to nurture the person who signed up to buy your first free product. So I'm going to walk you through how you should approach this, and I filled this with examples that you can copy and tips and tricks that will mean that you implement best practice from day one and you don't miss out on any opportunities to make more money. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is the distribution or promotion of your lead magnet. So there's no point in creating a lead magnet without then actually promoting it. And many people say you should spend the same amount of time promoting or distributing as creating. So if it took you a week to create the lead magnet, you want to spend at least a week distributing it. And some of the places that you can share your lead magnet are your channels with partners or influencers, so their channels. You've got your email footer, your email list. You've got paid ads. You've got a chatbot. If you have a chatbot, you can share into online communities. You can share with affiliates. So these are some of the places that you can start to distribute your lead magnet. And you're going to direct them either to a landing page, or they're going to see a pop-up with a form to download your lead magnet. So the landing page, or where the lead magnet is hosted, could be WordPress or Gumroad, Lemon Squeezy, Webflow. These are all different places you can host your lead magnet. Some of these places have the benefit of having marketplaces, so there's discoverability there. Others are built from scratch, you'd build them, but there's more flexibility. So the form, if you're going to have a pop-up form, could be with write message or get site control. And for my case, which is roast my landing page, the lead magnet, which is my audit of 100 landing pages, I use get site control. So one thing that you might want to do, and that is extremely powerful, is to show your lead magnet as a physical product. And most lead magnets, 99.9%, are digital products. They're courses, they are ebooks, they are Miros, just like this. But you can make your product feel more substantive if you create a visual of it as a physical product. And here's some examples that I wanted to share with you. So adding an element like this to your landing page potentially can increase conversion, but also it just makes it feel like your offering is a thing. It's something of note or worth. So here's how Justin Welsh has done it. And this is Melissa from Wit and Wire showing her course building course. So that's a bit meta, but it's all visualized here. And another thing you want to consider is the thank you page. So let me scroll down and show you. The visitor has now gone to your lead magnet page and they've downloaded the lead magnet. At this point, they're a lead. I always consider them a lead more than a subscriber because I like to think of them as people who will potentially become customers. To me, subscribers, that language, which I do sometimes use, feels more closely aligned with a vanity number. Like I've got 20,000 subscribers, and our job here isn't to build lots of subscribers to sell sponsorships. This is not about sponsorships. This is about selling more products. So think of people as a lead, and our job is to get them from being a lead to a paying customer. But anyway, your lead has got your lead magnet. They've downloaded it, and they're redirected to a thank you page. And this is one example of something that people miss a lot, which is the thank you page is the next thing they see after they've made that kind of commitment to you. So you can do some really cool stuff with this page to make sure that it's not a dead end. And here's some examples of how I would use the thank you page. These are popular examples that I've seen when I've reviewed hundreds of thank you pages from newsletters and lead magnets. So the first one is this check your inbox thank you page. So if the lead magnet is being delivered by email, which is very common, you might want to tell them to go and look in their inbox. The reality is that up to 50% of people who enter their details to download the lead magnet will never even open the email. So what we're doing here is we're prompting the new lead to actually go to the lead magnet and click the link. Down here, we've got an interesting one. So this is a tool called Write Message, which also allows you to collect leads. And after someone signs up for the lead magnet, they're presented with a survey, a micro survey like this, and they can select the options and it presents multiple questions. What's interesting about this is this automatically syncs with the person's email software. So on the first screen, the lead magnet page, we ask just 2 questions, name and email. But on this screen, we're able to collect thousands more data points very quickly by just running this survey and syncing that. And a good example of this is Justin Welsh. He uses the Write Message tool, and he's able to ask people basically lots of qualifying questions to segment them. So segments are groups of similar people. So as an example, one question is, where do you spend most of your time, or what platform do you use most? And we've got LinkedIn, X, or other. So the main point here is then Justin can email the people who said LinkedIn one message and the people who said X a different message. And that message is more likely to resonate and more likely to drive sales. Another way to do it is to upsell into a paid product or call. So they're warm, they download your lead magnet. Small percent of them may be already ready to buy. They've not yet been nurtured, but let's present them an offer. So in this example, the person is presented with a call to action for a analysis of subscriber newsletter pages, and it's $19. So traditionally, we're trying to get someone to buy a product, but we're not trying to get them to buy a $500 or $5,000 product straight after becoming a lead. The first product we're trying to get them to is going to be between $5 and $10, $15. And this is actually a very common technique, because what we're trying to do here is to minimize risk, but to get them from free to paid. And in many ways, the difference between someone paying $1 and $100 is less than the difference between 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1, the lead has to take their credit card out. Between 1 and 99, they just have to click buy again. So the hard thing is often just getting people to get to a point where they pay for your first product, which is why often we redirect people, or our first offer is very cheap. And then another thing you can do, just to continue the journey so they're not met with a dead end, is just point them to more interesting things you've written. So in my case, on Roast My Landing page, when someone joins the newsletter, they're pointed to an article about what I learned when I roasted the first 500 landing pages. And this post has historically proven to be incredibly popular. So push people from the subscribe flow into a really great asset. And here's an example of someone who's linking to 5 of their most popular blog posts on the thank you page. So your lead magnet has been downloaded. Your lead has been redirected to something interesting. The journey continues. And as well as that, you're now able and ready to nurture the subscriber. As mentioned, we're trying to get them from a free sign up lead, as I say I should call it, and I never do, all the way through to a paying customer. And we're going to use an email sequence. So think of it like this. An email sequence allows you to send a series of emails that your lead will read and builds a relationship with them. It's like sitting with them one-on-one and coaching them over several days and weeks. It's an amazing way to build the trust, the credibility, prove you know what you're talking about before you hit them with an offer. And if I was to give you the biggest tip here, you want to get to a point where you are actually giving so much value that your lead is emailing you back going, well, what are you actually selling here? That's when you're doing a good job. If you're just trying to throw out random bits of insight, but not well threaded together, not clearly explained, you're just going to be like everyone else in the inbox. So the job here is to really stand out, to over deliver, to create a series of valuable things for your lead, and then hit them with the offer. So where do we create this sequence of emails? One tool is called Bento. That's what I like to use. There's MailerLite, Email Octopus, Active Campaign, ClickFunnels, System.io. The point here is it doesn't really matter. Just dump the data in the tool, sequence it well, make sure it works, write it, rewrite it, and just make something smart here. So we're adding them to a nurture sequence. Email 1 may be sent after 1 day. It says, what did you think about the lead magnet? Or did you notice these highlights in the lead magnet? It's quite a logical, mindful way to follow up. We're then going to wait 1 day. Now, the reason we only wait 1 day to send email 2 is that they're warm right now. They subscribed recently. So we don't want to wait 10 days or 15 days. We're going to start by sending emails regularly and then slow down the pace. Now, what I want to share with you here that's important is you need to test these things. But this is one that works well for me. And yes, people will unsubscribe. But the thing is, they're leads. We want people who aren't going to buy to unsubscribe. We don't really care because we can see this as a reflection of someone who's not ready to buy or just not interested enough to stay subscribed. If your emails are good, the unsubscribe rate is going to stick at around 1%, and anything above that you might want to look into. So let's talk about email 2. We're going to take something mentioned in the lead magnet and we're going to expand on it. So in my case, my lead magnet has a summary and an outline of 100 landing pages. And in one of the emails, I then send an email even, which talks about the anatomy of a high converting landing page. So in many ways, this is covering the same topic, but through another lens. In the lead magnet, it's a spreadsheet summarizing hundreds of landing pages. This is more focused on why I chose those things to summarize and basically the core fundamentals for them. I'm not selling anything yet. I'm just sharing some tips, and people are staying back to me, writing back to me saying that was very useful. Email 3, you're going to link to another resource or a tool to help them understand and fix their problem. And why I said link to another resource or a tool is it's very likely you have content online already that can be used in your nurture sequence. Your content can be reworked from something you've created before, like a blog post, a social post, a tool, a webinar. You don't need to be creating everything from scratch. You need to thread together in the right order interesting content that you've already created and shared. Email 4 is an interesting one. You don't have to do this, but if all you've collected at this point is name and email address, you might want to find out a little bit more about your subscriber. The reason we want to find out more is so that we can segment them and we can send them more relevant offers that will end up driving more revenue. So an example of what you might ask them is the team size. So this helps you characterize how many people are there, what product they might want to buy from you, the marketing budget, the industry, what they're struggling with. What they're struggling with is quite an interesting one. So in my case, I might say, what are you struggling with in terms of your landing page? They might say building my landing page, writing my landing page, conversion on my landing page. And based on that, I can send 3 different emails with a different offer or a similar offer, but repositioned to drive more sales. So in this case, to get this extra information, we're sending them to another lead magnet landing page, but instead of asking them name or email, we're going to ask the new question. This is called incremental fields. We're adding more data collect as they go further down the funnel, so that incrementally we increase what we know about the lead. Now we're getting to email 5. Remember, at this point, you're not really selling anything. You've done a really good job of just presenting your expertise. And now you're going to agitate a problem. So this is something that the user feels, and we're going to make them feel it more. So in this case, it might be the feeling of a landing page not converting. the paid marketing is not effective, and you're frustrated, you're throwing more money at it, it's not working. What you're doing here is setting the scene for the offer. So you might present a few solutions. Some of those solutions can be things they can look at themselves. But when we get to the offer, we're going to help them relieve the pain with a purchase of the offer. So this is a common persuasion technique known as pain, agitate, solution, and it can be very effective in your email sequence. Now let's get to your offer. That's right, you're 6 emails in, you've given away 1 or possibly 2 lead magnets, and now you're sending them an offer. However, once this is set up, it runs on autopilot, and you're giving everyone this incredible experience of advice and building trust. So, email 6, you sell your product that solves the agitated pain. You only sell once you've created value and built trust. And also here, if you've segmented your list, you can tweak the phrasing. I probably wouldn't start with multiple offers. I would have one offer, but I would have different ways of framing that offer, different copy to drive people to that offer. So people in segment A get email 1, people in segment 2, I should say B here, get email 2. And even just small tweaks to the call to action, the subject line can make a difference. So let's give an example. If on Roast My landing page, I'm now selling a course, and the person has told me that their landing page type is SaaS. The course can cover both SaaS landing pages and newsletter landing pages, but the email will highlight that it's suitable for SaaS, and the one that goes to people who have a newsletter landing page will highlight that it's suitable for people who have a newsletter. In other words, the course does it all, but the email really highlights relevant language and benefits for that segment. And you've hit them with the offer, and you may well sequence more offers or more emails around this offer. But one thing you will want to do is, after you've sent them the offer, is add them to your weekly newsletter. So the weekly newsletter is sometimes known as radar marketing. And what you want in this is just to stay on their radar so that when you have another offer to sell, your list is still engaged and your authority is greater. So let's add them to the weekly newsletter. But when you're ready, you allow them to opt into another nurture sequence that's on a different theme. And once they've done that, the process begins again for offer 2, offer 3, 4, and 5. Now, one thing you can do in your newsletter that's really cool is include a call to action for your product or your service. So in this case, what we're going to do is use something called liquid tags to give people different offers based on what they already bought. So if someone bought your $5 product, in the newsletter, you no longer promote the $5 product. Instead, you promote the $50 product. If they bought the $50 product, you promote the $500 product. So lots of people will promote their product within their newsletter, but if I've already downloaded or paid for that product or service, why on earth am I seeing it? So use something called liquid tags to help you do this. And if you've got questions about that, you can just email me or drop me a line, because this is a slightly more advanced tip. The main thing here is you can start doing some really cool, intelligent stuff with your newsletter list to make sure that everyone is being pushed up to spend more money and engage more meaningfully with you and your business. So that's my summary of how to build your first nurture sequence. I tried to cover a few little tips and tricks to help you avoid some of the pitfalls and mistakes that people commonly make. And I really hope it was useful. My name's Ollie. I run a service called Senja.io, where you can collect testimonials from your customers, including video and text. And you can add them to your websites and your email sequences to increase click-throughs and increase conversions. Thanks for watching. Hope it was useful and hope it takes you nearer to a place where your nurture sequence is printing money for you. Good luck.